Hello, beautiful people. So, not sure how to begin this little video here. I just completed the Camino de Santiago, the Frances route, and I've been home for a little bit over a month, and did it during May, finished up June 2nd, and it was a great experience and all that kind of stuff. So here I am back in the woods. Here's my beautiful wife. Hello.
Hello.
Who met me in Santiago, which was pretty cool. But this is about dealing with a little bit of post-Camino blues. I'm not going to say depression because I'm not going to minimize that word, but I can honestly say that a lot of people who will do a Camino, especially their first one, will experience some sort of I guess blues when they get back, and I was no exception. I finished my first Camino. I'm almost 60 years old, and I went solo, which I totally recommend for anybody doing their first one. And when I got back, I was of course excited to see my wife and family, and of course my dog George, which some of you have met in my previous videos. But almost immediately I started feeling just, I don't know, just blah. And of course people would come up and say, hey, how was the Camino? Did you have fun? And I'm sorry, but I didn't know how to answer those questions. And unless they gave me an hour to just really go deep into what it meant to me. Because it did mean, it did mean a lot, but I just couldn't explain what I was feeling and stuff. So yeah, I went through some blues, and it lasted a good 2 weeks, and it's still kind of raw a little bit, and it's hard to explain, but I think I'm learning about more why. And let me just kind of go back to the beginning. I have been planning to do the Camino de Santiago for like over a year. Started planning it, and I was training for about a year, and I did over 1,000 kilometers, which is about 640 miles in my training. So I was focused, I was ready, I was planning. And then I went on the Camino, and I knew I did not want this to be a vacation. I did not want to have fun. I know that sounds weird. I wanted it to be a spiritual pilgrimage. And so I took every effort not to take any shortcuts or whatever. I walked every step. I averaged about 25 kilometers a day. On the very last day, I was so excited that I actually did almost 40 kilometers from Arzua to Santiago de Compostela. And of course it was exhausting. I was tired, but I felt so good, and I was so proud of my body, my 60-year-old body, for doing this. It's kind of hard to explain. But since I've been back, I've hardly gotten off the couch. I mean, it's crazy. Both my wife and I were not retired. We both have full-time jobs. I own a business, so it was easy for me to be flexible with my schedule. I was able to take as long as I wanted to to do the Camino. I had no schedule. I just booked a one-way ticket actually to get there, and I only planned, made reservations for albergues up through Pamplona. After Pamplona, I just I showed up in towns, and or I would you know, check around to try and find a vacancy through WeChat or WhatsApp, not WeChat, WhatsApp. And a lot of times they were full. Sometimes I didn't get a response. Mentally, I was ready to just sleep outside. It didn't really matter to me. I wanted it to be an experience. So coming back, this is the first day I've gotten my shoes back on and my pole out, and I just said to my wife, I said, let's just go in the woods. So we are in the woods here in beautiful western North Carolina. This is where I did the bulk 90% of my training before starting the Camino. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and it has hills, cobblestones, pavement, asphalt, rocks, just everything you're going to meet on the Camino. And it feels so good to be out here. And like I said, it's been over a month, and I'm just now getting out. And so I think after kind of some self-reflection, thinking about why I'm feeling so blue, I think it's because I had planned this so that when I was on the Camino, that was going to be my world for 6 weeks. So I had really done well planning back home with everything. So when I get to the Camino, I don't have to think about anything other than getting up, hiking 5, 6, 7 or more hours a day, meeting wonderful people from all over the world. I went in May, which is absolutely a great time to go, springtime, not as crowded as I thought, and there is absolutely no problem in getting to a place where you are all by yourself. And if you watch my videos, you'll notice that I'm often by myself. So even if it gets crowded, it disperses easily after about 10 kilometers or so, and you find yourself doing your own pace and everything. So to make a long story short, so for those 6 weeks, I had nothing else on my mind except hiking and walking and running into people, and the views and the scenery and the reflections, and you know, getting to know that person inside your head a little better, praying, and you know, feeling Jesus walking with you, which I did, definitely. And that's all I had to worry about. That's all. I lost 23 pounds, which is kind of weird because I ate a lot of bread and I drank beer at the end of every day, but you know, you're burning some calories, I guess, so it's not hard to lose weight. And then when I come back, you know, you're hit with reality, the news, which I didn't even know what was going on. When I was on the Camino, I didn't watch news, I didn't hear about news, I didn't care. Nobody talked about the news or current events or politics. Everybody was concerned about learning other people's culture and just learning a little bit of Spanish. And it was wonderful. You get really inside this world, and then you come home, and sometimes it's a little harder to adjust back to reality. And that's what happened to me. So How am I dealing with it? Well, like I said, today it's been over a month since I laced up my wonderful shoes. It felt good just to put them on, and got my trusted pole, and I grabbed my wife and said, let's go hike through some woods. And that's what we're doing. And so I think that's how I'm dealing with the blues. Everybody's gonna do what they gotta do, and you do whatever it helps. And I think also I'm gonna start planning my next adventure. May not be a Camino, maybe something else crazy out there. Whatever it is, the devil is going to tell me I can't do it, and God is going to constantly remind me that faith over fear wins every time. So that's it. That's my post Camino blues story. So let's get a little video in here where I am. Got my bear spray with me because I did a lot of my training in the winter time and it was a lot better if you're a little bit nervous about bears. And here in western North Carolina, we've got the beautiful Great Smokies and the Appalachian Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains, and bears are a real concern. So I got my bear spray, and you'd be amazed at how much more confidence you have walking in the woods. Plus I've got my wife with me, and I think I can outrun her. So I think if there was a bear, I don't know, I'll probably edit that part out. So if you're wondering where I am, I mentioned that, of course, I live in western North Carolina. This is the beautiful Biltmore Estate. I could often come here and do easily 25 kilometers and never go over the same trails twice. Okay, so while I'm here, I kind of feel those vibes coming back that I want to get back out and do something. But if I could just give some tips for anybody who's thinking about doing a Camino. You know, the Frances is 800 kilometers, which is about 500 miles, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Make sure you do your training, but find a place that you can do a lot of hills. Work on your hips. Exercise your hips. Even when you're not hiking, stretch. Work on your joints. I did over 1,000 kilometers in training, and then I did the Camino, 25 kilometers a day, and I never got a blister during all that time. Never a blister, which is quite a miracle actually. And a lot of it's because I just toughened up my feet. I mean, I actually did a little barefoot walking and hiking, just to toughen up your feet. You know, it's harder, I guess, for a blister to form on a calloused foot that is hard as a brick. But take care of your knees, do a lot of hill work, do some aerobic stuff, of course. Hips are a big deal. A lot of it's going to depend on your age and your physical fitness. I am reasonably fit. I'm not an athlete. I'm a business owner who sits behind a desk. So you got to commit yourself. Mentally, you got to commit yourself and then focus. I carried a pack every step of the way, but my pack was no more than, I would say, I'm trying to convert it into metric here. It was about 14 pounds. Not sure how much that is in kilograms. Probably about 30 kilograms, or I don't know, you'll have to figure it out. And train with the pack, put some stuff in it and train, and then mentally prepare yourself. And by that I mean, when you're on the Camino, that's all that's on your mind. Don't think about home, don't think about anything else. Try and just isolate your whole thoughts to just experiencing the Camino de Santiago. That's what it's about, experiencing this awesome adventure. And so that's what I tried to do, and it really paid off. I'm telling you, that's probably why I kind of wish I was back on the Camino right now. I'm fortunate enough to live in Western North Carolina, where there are so many opportunities to be outdoors, hiking and water activities and just awesome stuff. But I couldn't help but think about, as I'm walking, how much this reminds me of Meseta. Of course, depends on the season you're in, but this was very reminiscent of the long, hot, dusty trails of going through the Meseta. And I don't see any cows out, or chickens or goats. Maybe they're all in. But if you go watch my videos, and if you do, I know this sounds cheesy, but please subscribe and like. And the reason I say that is you'll be notified when I have new videos, because I plan to have more videos out here. But when I was training over here, I would often run into cows. And if you look at my videos, you'll notice that I love running into the animals, cows, goats, chickens, donkeys, horses. It's pretty cool. Love that part. You see that long open area? I would walk that like 2 or 3 times back and forth. That kind of made me think of long Meseta days. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want this to be a long video. It was basically about dealing with the blues that some people get, some pilgrims get. I'm not a tourist. This was not a vacation. I'm a pilgrim. And I got the blues after I was done. And this is how I dealt with it. Getting back out. And I'm seriously going to start planning my next adventure. And it's very common to get the blues. But again, my recommendation is, when you're on the Camino, just be in the moment. Don't worry about if you're going to find a place to sleep. You will. You definitely will find a place. It'll happen. I never planned past Pamplona, and I never had to sleep outside. So there you go. And just be in the moment. Meet people, be open. Language is not that big a deal. Learn the culture. Just dive into the history of the Basque country. The beautiful, beautiful Basque people are amazing. And northern Spain, and the Pyrenees, and just the people you meet. And one thing I learned is that you're not alone. Everybody you meet, they're doing the same thing you're doing. And you know, that camaraderie is what is so awesome. And that probably is what you're gonna miss when you come home. You're gonna miss that. You're gonna miss that. So like I said, right now I'm just, you know, I'm not back into the news or anything. I'm not watching TV or whatever. I'm just trying to get basically acclimated back to my home life. And it is hard, but I'll do it. And then my next adventure, I will definitely let you know what it will be, and you can follow me on that one. So, for right now, I say to all my friends and family, Buen Camino.